Hey, I am here in lovely Cancun, Mexico at Abogain Riviera Maya. Just making a little video to kind of explain to myself, what I'm doing here. Haven't gotten my first treatment yet, so starting to feel a little sick. I probably should have took the first one yesterday, so it could be like a before and after, as I was still using yesterday. Honestly, I just want this to end. I'm tired of it. That's standard, right? Everybody's always tired of their long-term opiate addiction. And yeah, mine started from excruciating pain, but pretty quickly I realized how good it was from emotional pain too. This will be my second round of this. 2 years ago I came down for my methamphetamine and oxycodone / polydrug polyopiate abuse. Yeah, it worked too. It was amazing how it just ends the withdrawals. That seems to be the most important thing that the ibogaine can do. Well, the most obvious, as far as the most interesting thing it does, besides it shows you aspects of yourself, and it shows you, in my experience, angelic entities who cleaned me up. It showed I had an experience of my own face coming in to the screen behind my closed eyes and then slowly turning to face me, and it looked sick and skeletal and like sad as fucking, like just unhappy. And then all of the flesh like melted off of the face of the skull, and it became a sapphire blue skull, my own skull staring at me face to face. And then all of the flesh grew back, all the muscles and tendons, you could see it all grow back. And then it was my own face, smiling and beaming and happy. And there was lots of other stuff in there too, animals, etc. I'll have to go through and do a trip report on that. But what's going on this time is, although I was relatively clean and clear for a good amount of time, and I've never gone back to strong stimulants, even when I found a year later a big 8-ball, I dumped it out down the toilet. I did. I'm proud of myself for that. Because my meth addiction was always very dramatic. It was like so bad for my mental health. I was an emotional, semi-psychotic wreck most of the time. But that was 2 years ago, and I seem to have healed up from that. But what happened is, this time I got hurt. I have bad back problems, so 2 spinal fusion surgeries and issues. So if I'm not careful, I can really hurt my back. And somehow I did, moving a pot, a big heavy pot with an aloe plant in it. Which caused a nerve impingement in my spine, which I don't know if you ever had a nerve impingement, but it's possibly the most painful thing I've experienced, other than waking up out of my second spinal fusion surgery with all those screws and metal rods in my back and having not availed myself of enough opiates, not told them how addicted I was. or how high of a tolerance I had, I was more or less left being completely tortured by that. So that was the worst. But this time, with that spinal infusion thing, it really hurt. And I ended up having to go to the ER. You know, they prescribed me hydrocodone and Valium for it, which was a lifesaver at the time. But when the scripts ran out, I was still in quite a lot of pain. And so went back to my old erstwhile friend, or my sometimes friend, Kratom, however you want to pronounce it. And I used the Kratom for a period of time. And then I took this job at a vapor store where we sell over-the-counter tianeptine. That's what I'm hooked on now, is this tianeptine stuff. Basically, my use has completely switched over to the tianeptine. It happened very quickly because it gives you a very strong opioid feeling at a higher dose, and much stronger than Kratom. So within a few weeks, it became a tianeptine addiction that I was just maintaining with Kratom in between. And as you use it, you get a very quick tolerance, just like any opiate, and the strong antidepressant effect is replaced with a depressant effect. It made me really sad when I was on it, and it made me very sensitive to everything. And then the withdrawals are opiate withdrawals, but with a strong emotional content. I mean, an opiate withdrawal has an emotional content to it, but this seems like in addition to the pain that's causing you to hurt mentally, this is like, in addition, a strong anxiogenic, like, yeah. So anyway, this is round 2. All this is to say, this is round 2. Coming down to the Ibogaine clinic. It worked really good for the first time, so I'm gonna give it another shot. It's at a certain point it comes down to your own choices, and I chose the wrong thing. Knowing better, there's a compulsive aspect to being an addict, and the Ibogaine gives you a window into what it would be like to not be one. The Ibogaine gives you an opportunity to feel vivacious and full of life and full of joy for life, and to have the courage to tackle like whatever it is that is causing you to keep relapsing and using. This time, what I'm going to try to take out of it is strength, ways to actually defeat this thing. I mean, I'm not going to defeat it. It's not going to be over. It's going to be part of who I am. But and another aspect of my drug use, I'm also a psychedelic proponent, and I've noticed as I ever got off onto hard stuff, hard drugs, my desire to use psychedelics went way down, because as anybody who's ever used psychedelic knows, they'll kick you around if you're not doing what you think is right. If deep down in your conscience you know I'm messing up, psychedelics are going to show you that, including Ibogaine. I fully expect to be slapped around this time by Ibogaine. I've only had one of my experiences with it, which has been half a dozen, where it really slapped me around. Showed me all the bad stuff I've done to people and how mean I've been and how selfish I've been and unforgiving, all these uns, but how unhappy I've been. Severely unhappy. And I've been unhappy for a long time, really. There's a deep, like, tension in me